What's in the box?
This box.
What's in the fucking box?
Orcs.
Hello everyone, welcome to Heavy Handed Hobbies. This is Chad, and in this video I thought it'd be fun to look at my Orc Army box. Now, before we get into this, let's talk about the box itself. Now, I made the box, and I don't mean I colored it and bought it. I mean, I used to work at a plastics factory in Iowa, and I made this in a plastics injection factory. So the mold opens up, the pieces come out, you trim them. So I made this one, and I have one other too, but it's so great for carrying an army around because it's got 3 layers. We've got the lid itself, which straps down with these like major straps. And then we've got a section underneath that that's nice for holding like smaller figures. And then we've got the big tray that handles the bigger things, especially like tanks and stuff like that. And then the bottom we have figures and figures and figures, so we can have lots of trays of figures inside because it's pretty deep. Now, to be honest, these were always made for tools, but works great for my thing. Now, I painted this thing up so that it would look orky when I started playing Warhammer, and I put the little dags on the side and the stripes, and I thought, you know, it's going to be so cool because I'm going to paint an orc head on it every time I beat an army. So we've got one. Because, you know, I wasn't that great at playing. So there are, in my opinion, 2 types of paint jobs. One is the type you play. You paint to play. You don't care if the figures get dinged up or banged up. Well, I mean, you care, but you're not crushed. And then there's the second type, which is a show quality, where you're like trying your best to make the perfect figure. Now, these are play quality. Now, before you jump all over me, I know in the past I have said I don't play Warhammer, I just paint. And you can see why I don't play Warhammer anymore. So these days I just paint, but this was my play army. So for those clever folks out there, yes, I just made an excuse for the paint quality. Now let's go over to the painting desk and take a look at the figures.
All right, so this is rack number 1 on top here. Now these are older figures, as you can probably tell. I've set up the foam in here to try to cushion them for getting banged around. Most of the things up here are vehicles. So we have the old school truck here. Very old school. And I didn't like the heads of the old school guys, but I left them on here. Now some of them, I cut the heads off and glued newer heads on. And then we have the old school bikes. Now in my pile of shame, I have the new ones that are not even touched. Now these are guys, like I said, I didn't like the heads, so I cut off the existing heads and put the newer ones on. Here's another example, cut the head off. And they're all pretty much identical, the same, you know, the same look. Except for I made a special knob leader. He's got a bionic arm. Little extra jazz and spikes and And then we've got the old trike. And we have a knob here. Don't worry, YouTube, this is the different kind of knob. And there's a whole squad of them. I do not have a rotisserie table like some channels. I would love to get that. And I would love to get proper camera gear, and I'd love to get a proper microphone. That is why I started a Patreon. If you would like to help me get these things, feel free to join my Patreon. So you see what I mean? The quality isn't terrible, but it's not excellent. I wouldn't put these in a show. In fact, instead of doing it this way, let's just show them all at once. So here's my lovely gang of knobs. Again, no offense. Here's an orc in heavy armor. Now the theme of my army is, it's a goth army, obviously, black and red. But I did it as an offshoot of the goth. And I called the clan Lockjaw, which is symbolized by this lock in the jaw of this guy and the banner, which we'll see later. So my idea was that this is a goth clan that is taking orders from Gazgal, and I could therefore add Gazgal if I saw fit. This is the worst way to display my figs. Painboy, I believe. Like I said, it's been a while since I played. It's got all the cool stitching. Here's a trike with a, I believe it's a las cannon, isn't it? With the little grot at the end. And then we have some big guns. So we have some grots here with the big guns firing cannonballs, apparently. That's it for the top layer. Let's do the next one. All right, this tray is a little bit deeper. Has some bigger figures in it, but let me pull them out. Some of them have nothing to do with the army. I just didn't have a safe place for them. So let's take a look. All right, so here's the contents of that tray. Now we got 3 las guns, very orky las guns. Where the people running them, the little grots that shoot them, I'm not sure where I put those. They'll probably turn up in the next part, but they're all pretty identical, and yes, they're metal. Back in the old days when there was metal figures. Then we got the Dreadnought here. This is not a killer can. This is a Dreadnought. Again with the lockjaw symbol. Here is a kind of truck I made up myself. Set up the guy on the bottom there holding basically rocket launchers. Got an extra rocket there. And then we've got the looted Le Mans Russ. I couldn't glue it solid. It would drive me crazy. So things still move. We got the guy running the show at the top there, behind the sandbags. The driver stuffed down inside. I don't know if we can get a shot of him down in there. And then we've got the mechanic out there with the wires. In case anything breaks down, you can roll to see if they fix it. This is a figure I think I could make better if I kind of redid it. Got a few bullet holes. Then the war boss himself, Lockjaw. I stuffed him in here with foam to try to keep him safe. This is the standard war boss. I think everyone's seen it. This one's metal. And I really dove into the dominant orcs have darker skin idea. So he's a dark green. This I printed off myself and drew up the symbol myself for the Lockjaw clan. And then all the bullets at his feet. So he is the war boss of my clan, my army. Standing on a Space Marine head. Because of course. So these are growlers and they weigh a ton. They are solid metal. They are not Warhammer at all. They are Vor the Maelstrom game system. If you're at all familiar. A friend of mine was an artist at this company and gave me the Growler Chieftains. So I've got all the chieftains. I just haven't painted the Razorback, I believe this one's called. This is a Fire Gut. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure. So let's get out the bottom part of the SST. All right, so in the first tray, we have my entire squad of Grots. Now, before you poo-poo Grots, they are awesome. They die in droves, but they are an enormous distraction. The other army sees so many figures on the table, and they instantly freak and go, oh my god, I need to get rid of these. And it's just, but as the player, you know they're going to die. You're just like, whatever, waste your life trying to get those guys killed. And often that would happen. They would spend a lot of time trying to kill all these grots. We got the slaver back here, keeping them in control with this grabber. And yeah, they're really fun to put on the table, I think. So essentially, what's left in the bottom of the box is my boys. And there's a lot of different kinds here. These are some heavies, and we've got some guys here with labas, and some of them are need fixed. These are just basic boys. I even, I mean, let's back up here, and yeah, there's a lot of the classic fishing lure containers full of figures. Here's a sampling here. Here's some of the heavy guys there, and the the rest of the grots for the las cannons and such. Then we got some sample of the boys. Some of them have a few special weapons, like this guy here, and I even have a few squigs. I thought I had a squig herder somewhere. Couldn't quite find him. Of course, Burna boys. They do way more damage than anyone expects. And then here's some of the labas. So that's what I've got painted up right now. That is my 40K stuff, at least. And then, of course, we have all of that to go too. And I haven't shown my pile of shame. That's got to be next, I guess. Or soon. Maybe we should get back to some painting. So there you have it. That's my 40K orc army. And that was kind of fun to get those things out again. And a lot of them were broken. I didn't show those. They need to be fixed. And, you know, that army, now that I'm not playing, could really use with a repaint. Or at least some details. I think it would look nice with some details. And that's what's in the box, Brad.